Hi there, Keith here with another video blog. Now you know you've got the Oscars and you've got the Golden Globes and you've got the Screen Actors Guild Awards, but now I'm proud to present to you the Keith Whittier Awards. Yes, the Keith Whittier Awards. After going to the movies on average 3 times a week, so yes, over 150 movies this past year, I think I know a little something or two about movies. And I will be handing out tonight some Whittier Awards for the movies. Now, unfortunately, the recipients won't be able to make it, so I'll be accepting on their behalf. I've got my iPad, so I've got all my awards written out. So here we go. The first award is for the weirdest movie experience. Now, what would be a weird movie experience? How can a movie experience be weird? I go to a movie, I sit in the theater, I eat my popcorn, and I watch a movie. Sounds pretty simple, right? You would think so. Well, there have been a couple of times I've gone to the movies this past year, and it's been a little interesting. Now, there's the typical texting throughout the movies, but, you know, I grin and bear that. There was one time I went with my friend Andrew, and the guy snored through most of the movie. The movie wasn't even that bad, but clearly this guy was lacking on some sleep. But I will have to say that the weirdest movie experience that I had out of all of them had to be when I went to see Magic Mike. Yes, Magic Mike, that male stripper movie with Channing Tatum and Matthew McConaughey. Now, going and seeing the male stripper movie wasn't really the weird part. I like seeing movies, all types of movies, and I've proven that time and time again. No, for me what was awkward was the 4 ladies sitting behind us. Now, the 4 ladies sitting behind us probably ranged from the ages of mid-30s to mid-40s. But what was scary about this group was the fact that I don't necessarily think that they've seen a half-naked man for, well, not quite some time, but let's just say forever, ever. Now, the comments that they said throughout this movie is what made this the weirdest movie experience. These are some people's mothers, some people's, like, you know, aunts or so. And the things that they were saying, I can't necessarily repeat here, but let's just say they were enjoying what they were seeing a little too much. I feel sorry for the theater personnel who had to come through and clean up the theater after they were done, because I'm thinking those seats needed to be upholstered again. Now, the interesting thing about a movie like Magic Mike is it kind of reminds me of when Sex and the City first came out. You saw these ladies getting dressed up and going to the movie theater. It was really quite an event, and I liked it. However, the only exception to the rule is these 4. These 4 weren't getting dressed up to go see a movie. If they could have thrown a $1 bill at the screen, I think they probably would have. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I might have seen a couple of loonies flying by. So that was a little scary. Very entertaining after the fact. In the moment, very scary. The best use of Botox and plastic surgery I'm going to give to the cast of The Expendables Part 2. Now listen, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, you're all great in your day, and I understand that you're all like pushing 80 and you're not doing it gracefully. It was a little scary and a little too much nip-tuck if you ask me. Now, the award for not a top 10 movie, but I really liked it, goes to Pitch Perfect. Pitch Perfect was the movie that caught me by surprise. This is a movie that I went to kicking and screaming, and I didn't think I'd like it. And I'm not saying it's a top 10 movie, but it's definitely seaworthy, but it's definitely a movie that you should check out. The movie about a female a cappella group and the group of ladies brought together couldn't be any more different, but they clicked and it was fun, and I really liked the music in this movie. Very enjoyable and quite surprising. The most uncomfortable movie to watch goes to Compliance. Now, Compliance was an independent movie based on a true story. It tells the story of how a man posed as a police officer, called a fast food restaurant, pretending, again, like I said, pretending to be a restaurant, and using, with the assistance of the store manager, stripped and cavity searched an unsuspecting female employee. This was a very unsettling movie to watch, as evidenced by the several people who left the theater while I was watching it. Probably what makes this even more terrorizing is the fact that it's true and that it happened on more than a dozen occasions in the States. The most overrated movie for me, and I know I'm going to offend a lot of people by saying this, and I know it's nominated for a Best Picture award, but nonetheless it makes my list, is Les Miserables. Now, I've never saw the play, so I don't have that to go by, and I know I went with 3 other ladies who were crying throughout it. I left it thinking, really? Now, don't get me wrong, I like musicals, and I know a lot of people don't. I like Chicago, I absolutely loved Rent, heck, I even liked Dreamgirls. Who couldn't like Eddie Murphy in Dreamgirls? But I digress. But Les Mis, I had a problem with it. I loved Anne Hathaway in it, and I thought she was fantastic, and I thought Hugh Jackman was amazing as well. They're both well deserving of their Academy Award nominations. Sacha Baron Cohen was hilarious in it. Helena Bonham Carter was good in it as well. But the way that people are going on and on and on about it, like it's the greatest movie since sliced bread, that I can't get with. The other problem that I had with Les Mis is I just felt that at times they were singing just for the sake of singing. It's like, hey, we've got nothing to do now, so let's start singing. I know it's a musical, I know they're singing, but it went even beyond that. Even times they shouldn't be singing, they were singing. Like this. The light is on over the oven and over the stove. Now it's off. Wait, it's on. It's off. It's on. That's why I wasn't in Les Mis, because I can't really sing. But that kind of proves my point. Everything was singing, singing, singing. It was too much. Take a break. Shush. The maybe you should try online dating award goes to This Means War. We watched a single lady go online, and then Chris Pine and Tom Hardy were waiting for her. And I know that a lot of my female friends looked at that movie and said, maybe I should give this online thing a try. The Is That Really You award goes to Tom Hardy as well for his performance in Bane. An absolutely fantastic performance, and after The Dark Knight, being cast as the main villain and having to walk in Heath Ledger's shadow couldn't have been an easy job. So what do? You put on a mask and you become pretty much completely unrecognizable. Even behind that mask, I think Tom Hardy still did an absolutely fantastic job. And if you haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises, what's wrong with you? The sexiest superhero of the year, some people might say Iron Man, some people might say Captain America. I'm going with Catwoman and Anne Hathaway's performance. She gave us 2 fantastic roles last year in Les Mis, but for me, I'll forever remember her as Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises. Not an easy task to overtake Michelle Pfeiffer for her amazing performance in Batman Returns. But again, Halle Berry, does anybody still remember her as Catwoman? I suppose I do, because I just mentioned it, but not a great one. The Newcomer of the Year award. So you've got your Best New Artist, you've got your Rookie of the Year. My Newcomer of the Year award is going to go to an actor by the name of Ezra Miller and his mesmerizing performances in not 1 but 2 roles. Earlier on in the year, he was in the Stinkfest We Need to Talk About Kevin. Yes, I said Stinkfest because I didn't really care for the movie. I'll talk about that in another blog coming up. But what I can't deny is the fact that he gave a really good performance in it. And Perks of Being a Wallflower, again, a completely outcast teenager in that movie. Again, 2 absolutely fantastic roles to make me realize that whatever this guy's in, I definitely want to be checking out. The congratulations on your 3rd Oscar, even though the awards haven't happened yet, goes to Daniel Day-Lewis. With all due respect to Hugh Jackman and the other nominees in that category, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Daniel Day-Lewis will win the Best Actor award. For the simple fact that A, he is Daniel Day-Lewis and he's probably the best actor on the planet. Well, him and Denzel Washington. Daniel Day-Lewis is so fantastic, he could play Tupac Shakur and be phenomenal in it. But the other thing is the Oscars love the biopic pieces. They love that. The Queen, the King's Speech. I definitely see Lincoln winning a few Oscars and Daniel Day-Lewis bringing home one of them. The You Could Do So Much Better Than How I Met Your Mother award goes to Jason Segel for his performance in Jeff Who Lives at Home. In the movie, he plays Jeff, a guy who lives at home, and he did an absolutely fantastic job in this movie. Excuse me. I went into this movie not thinking I wouldn't like it, but I actually did. Goes to The Hobbit. I wasn't sure if I was ready for a trip back to Middle-earth just yet, but this movie blew me away with its special effects. I thought I really liked this movie, but I really didn't, goes to The Devil Inside. Now, connect the cuts, connect the cuts, connect the cuts. This is another one of those movies that was found footage, and we're all supposed to be scared and terrified, but it was too much been there, done that. The 3 Times the Charm award goes to the casting team who casted Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. By far the best Hulk that we've seen on the big screen. With all due respect to Ed Norton and to Eric Bana, this Hulk absolutely blew me away. The Best Trailer award goes to The Dark Knight Rises. Now definitely The Dark Knight Rises had a bit of an edge over the competition, as it had not 1, not 2, but 4 trailers, and that's not even counting the prologue that we got to see if you went to see Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol the year before. But the trailer to The Dark Knight Rises I thought was absolutely fantastic. Just completely kept whetting my appetite for what was to come on July 20th. The Why Didn't I Have That as a Kid award goes to Ted. How awesome was that teddy bear? Foul-mouthed and profane and just the way we liked him. Seth MacFarlane had an amazing movie with that with that creation, and I really enjoyed that teddy bear. The coolest scene in a movie for me was the Avengers movie when the Avengers assemble. I know it's in the trailer, but I remember going to see the midnight show and the crowd going absolutely nuts. After years upon years and film upon film of seeing each of the characters individually, it was absolutely fantastic to see them all fighting side by side. And the last award of the night goes to the most uncomfortable scene to watch. Now, the most uncomfortable movie to watch was Compliance, but the most uncomfortable scene had to be Bane versus Batman, their first fight in The Dark Knight Rises. Excuse me. So there you have it, my first annual Whittier Awards. I'll be sending these awards out and hopefully getting acceptance speeches taped. No, I won't. But nonetheless, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can check me out on Twitter at CFL_fan or follow my Facebook page, excuse me, at facebook.com/WhittyWhittier. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you at the movies.